Well, look at this. All of these cars themselves are works of art, but one man who knows about doing exactly that, turning them into a work of art, is Bill Patterson. Bill is responsible for the event poster, but then more than that, Bill, you're responsible for all kinds of motorsport posters and motorsport pieces of art. And the thing that's impressing me about this, just tell us how long this has taken you to do this.
I'd say I'm probably 35 minutes into this, more or less. It's, you know, these things, doing this style, I like to try to get right at an hour.
That is incredible, and an hour. And let's just talk about this for a minute, because we're going to wander inside. You have a passion for motorsports, you have a passion for skiing as well, but motorsports, and you love drawing cars. You like creating movement in your images.
Yeah, so when I first decided that I want to do this as a career after being an architect, I got very good at basically recreating a photograph, and I thought that was pretty spectacular until I realized it was just sitting there. So then it was like, okay, what's wrong with this? What is it? Why does this piece not making me happier than it should be? And I realized it's about making it move. And so ever since that, I've been trying to make myself, when I realized if I go really fast in a practiced way, I can end up getting the motion and the emotion that I feel about watching these guys and wanting to be in the car. In fact, don't tell anybody, but it's always me driving the car every time, whether it's a Formula One car or a Le Mans winner. It's always me.
And what you're drawing here, you got, I'm guessing, a Stingray. You got a couple of Corvettes here.
Yeah, this is a Corvette weekend. It makes sense to do that, and these are fantastic. I think this is a '67. I don't even know my Corvettes that well, but and that's a C2 and a C5, maybe C6. Anyway,
well, let's talk about a Corvette that we have seen, because it's up here on the wall. This huge one. This is the Le Mans car that we saw just a while back when we were chatting to the guys from Corvette. That's incredible. How long does that one take you to do?
Oh, that one took me a few days. That one is a much more studied piece, and I ended up probably doing the background like 3 or 4 times. And I typically like to just start and go, and if I don't like something, I change it on the fly. A lot of artists lay things out perfectly and then just simply sort of paint by numbers, for lack of a better word, whereas I like to try to build it as I go and tweak and move as I go, but trying to maintain that loose, free motion style.
Now you really get the motion and the emotion, as you said, and people are going to see this all weekend long, because this is the event poster, and this is what's on the front page of the program as well. And how did it come about that the guys from Rolex, the guys from the event, came to you and said, Bill, can you help us out and do something for us for the event?
Well, actually, I've been very fortunate to be the artist here at Laguna Seca for most of the last 18 years. So I've been doing a lot of these for a lot of years, and it's become a very natural thing to interact with the track here and everybody on the staff. I've been doing it for so long, they kind of know what to expect, and I know what they want, and so very often it doesn't take us long, and I love being that guy, believe me.
Yeah, you do, and what I've enjoyed when we've been just standing around chatting, people like coming up and talking to you and watching you do it, because I wonder if we can wander inside, madam. I'm going to slide past you. I want to just sort of come and have a look at some of these. Some of the ones that really sort of get the movement for me, like you're talking about this. When you look at this, you can tell the cars are moving. It looks like they're leaping out of the page, doesn't it?
I love telling stories too. I'm a big fan of the sport, so I love those 3 cars were so significant to the sport, and I love combining those things that you'd never actually see on a track. I can get away with stuff that photographers can't, and I like to try to take advantage of that little trick in my bag whenever I can.
And also what I was just about to sort of come to before we wandered in, people are enjoying watching you do the painting. You're out front and you're doing these things in 30 minutes or an hour or whatever, but that's part of the thing for you, isn't it? Putting on the show of actually doing it before someone's eyes.
You know, I'm kind of a show-off, yeah. I don't think of myself as an extrovert, but, you know, one of the great things about doing stuff live is people just ask me, gosh, aren't you nervous up there? Well, actually, the audience is behind me, so I'm just painting. I just get lost in what I'm doing up front, and I enjoy watching it happen. I'm watching this thing come out of the canvas, and I'm enjoying it as much as anyone, and I realize people like to watch it. That's cool too. I love that.
Brilliant. So how many do you think you'll get done over the next couple of days while we're live out front? Are you going to be a busy man all weekend long?
Well, I'd like to. We'll see how busy I get. Obviously, the number one thing is to sell here, so I've got to do that too. Plus, I want to get out and see the cars. I'm a huge fan of all this stuff, and I know a lot of the drivers, and love the brands that are running here and the histories, and I get to enjoy. I want to absorb as much as I can. A lot of the fuel, in effect, that I absorb by being here and observing, I will be expended in the studio later. Yeah.
And some of your bigger pieces, like you said, are taking you many hours to do. a few $1,000s. What are we looking at here?
Yeah. So the Corvette piece in front, I think I've got $4,000 on that, which I think is pretty reasonable for the amount of time I've been doing this. Somebody asked me years ago when they saw me do a live painting, they said, "How much you want for that?" And I said, "Oh, $3,000." And they said, "Well, how long did it take you?" And I said, 40 years. So you pay for that too.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just owning the mallet, it's just putting the time in to know how to use the mallet.
Exactly. That's exactly right. There's a story, yeah.
Exactly. But if people haven't got $4,000, $25 or $50 gets them a print for the poster.
So the official poster is $25, and I'll have those available on my website at billpatterson.com. And then I've got prints that start at 70 or start at 50, and then 75, and then all the way up to reproducing. For example, the MotoGP piece up here, that's actually a reproduction on canvas. That's not the original. So I can do I can reproduce on canvas or paper or any conceivable size. So, yeah, I love being part of the motorsports world.